Dean Knight. He's a fighter pilot with a heavy ST-type license. He's very specific type of DPS. He scales with the stacks, ignore armor at the high investments, and has unique targeting priority, lowest max HP. This creates slow but inevitable offensive pattern that differs from burst body nukers. ST Ranger has insanely good stat, and this ST is from 1.5 patch from CN. But is this really worth pulling Ranger ST? Let's find out. In this guide you will learn everything you need to know about Dean, and let's see what he can do. From A0 to A2, Dean gets stacks for each destroyed part, and one additional when he destroys the target, stacking up to 10 stacks, and remove one stack at the end of each turn. Each stack increases damage and reduces damage taken. Dean, with fully stacked, heavy ST and passive, can be hard to destroy. At the high investments, Dean ignores enemy armor up to 75%, even more if Dean has chainsaw hit bonus. A3 talent is actually very good for chainsaw weapons, since scale better for multiply hits weapons. So, if you get A3 Dean, could skip the armor jammer backpack and use other backpacks, which we'll talk about later. As we know, Dean scales heavily with the stacks. His two main skills gain powerful bonus damage when you reach specific stack threshold. Dean base movement is 3 tiles, and after you use this skill, he gains 3 stacks, damage reduction, bonus damage, and full movement reset. So after using the skill, he can move 4 additional tiles, giving him 7 total movement on turn 1. And later, when we get Rainbow Backpack, he can go 4 plus 5, 9 in total. For heavy pilot, that level of mobility is insanely good. Skill 2 option 1 costs 4 AP. Skill targets the part with the lowest current HP percentage. If all parts are still at 100%, it will behave as a random targeting. But if one part has damage taken and it's the lowest, you can force the skill to hit that part. For example, if the body has the lowest HP percentage, the skill will guarantee a body hit. When Dean has 8 or more stacks, Dean launches additional follow-up attack. Skill 2 option 2 costs 3 AP. Skill targeting the part with the lowest max HP. This means he will always target arms first, since arms usually have the lowest max HP on the most enemies. So this skill is good for disabled enemies, but mostly for stages where speed clearing isn't required. And when we have a 4 or more stacks, Chainsaw will attack with 3 additional hits. Okay, skill 3 option 1. Help with AP and gain 4 stacks. Cost 0 AP. The best 2 Dean skill give additional damage if the Dean has a certain number of stacks. This is useful code skill if you want to use Dean turn 1. Skill 3 option 2. Optional passive skill. This will be very niche passive skill. If you want to use Dean as a meat shield and at the same time gain more stacks faster. Dean Kit TLDR. He scales with the stacks, ignore armor at high investments, and has unique targeting priority, lowest max HP or current HP percentage, great mobility for heavy type, good for mobs when turn doesn't matter for clearing the stage, and can be tanky. The big downside, no direct aim body skills. Dean needs a couple of turns to hit up before reaching peak performance, and lack in AP until he get signature weapon. How good is signature weapon? +5 limit to stacks and +5 at the start of the battle, so enhanced talent stacks, enhanced damage potential and survivability. Dean's main attack costs 3 or 4 AP, and that's expensive, and signature helps maintain AP. Ranger ST. This is decent for piece, set early in the game, only 20%, but it's permanent buff once we equip weapon in both hands, like heavy machine gun or pole arm. Also on CN, for some reason, this buff works if you gear one arm with light shield and the other without weapon. Not sure if this will work on global, but could be the option for tactician. Rainbow set, damage up to 80% when HP is more than 80%. At the max level, prevent one time from arm being destroyed when taking over damage. Overall verdict: a strong ST early on with insanely good stats. 4P set decent, has a permanent buff, so it's a plus since no need to maintain stacks to keep the buff. Downside: only 20% damage buff. Isn't future proof enough in my book. We already have buffs up to 30%. I would not pull Ranger just for modules, but I would pull Ranger if you haven't started building any heavy ST yet, like Heracles or Kong. I built my fake Rainbow Kong, and it's amazing for William and Emily. Also use it even in PvP, why not? But could be good maybe for you, if you don't have any heavy ST yet. Ranger ST has 1000 weight power surplus. Chainsaw weight, it's 850, so this ST perfectly fit with any backpack you want. Since chainsaw is multiply hit type weapon, armor jammer is the best option. But if you have a Dean A3 or above, don't use armor jammer anymore. Ranger's module recommendation. Rex, one of the best modules. Hard to maintain buffs, but easy for snipers and fighter pilots. We just need re-attack at least 3 times per turn. Second option, one of the best early in the game, Dread Talon, and Ranger has high accuracy. Weapon accessory. 2 options. First, if 80% hit rate, or HP more than 50%. Second, my favorite build. When we destroy a part, we can trigger buffs. I'm using the same set for all my snipers and melee pilots. Once you activate buffs, damage and crit stay for the current turn and next turn. Very OP in my book. Dean Neural Drives Overview. If you really want to invest in Dean, make sure you reserve at least 2 bionic oils. 13 CP and Sector 2 are recommended as a minimum. 1 CP extra hit rate when 3 or more stacks. 7 CP standard for all melee pilots. 10 CP extra crit when 5 or more stacks. 13 CP increase the limit up to 15 stacks, so with the signature weapon he can go up to 20 stack in total. That will be 13% damage and minus 30% damage taken. 16 CP. 1 stack won't be removed anymore at the end of the action. Okay, final thoughts. ST it's nice to have and worth pulling as ST if you did not invest in any heavy ST. For Dean, cool animation, great mobility, good for mobs if the speed isn't required, can be tanky with signature weapon and neural drives. The AP cost is a high for attacks that doesn't guarantee body shots, and big downside, no direct aim body skills. Up to you if you want to pull Dean. He is not on my list, and I will not pull Dean and his ST. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye!